video is recorded using solar energy inspired by the Green New Deal of AOC. Today on August 1st, 2022, and thereafter, Lidia Thorpe will be forever remembered in the history books as someone who has fought the white privilege of Australia's parliament when she took the oath of office as a senator. And in her oath, she said the colonizer, Queen Elizabeth II. While she was forced to redo the oath and sign, she said that the oath still stands. And we do agree with her, it still stands because Australia was founded as a racist and penal colony, just like many other places in Canada and the United States. We're going to first concentrate on Australia. In the 19th century, the British monarchy had suffered various problems in revolution, in revolts, and in wars between the haves and the have-nots. Those who were the privileged and those who were not the privileged. The ones who were affected were also not just the very poor and destitute, but also countries like Ireland, Scotland, and Wales that have had to live under the boot of British white privilege imperialism, otherwise known as the Three Lions imperialism. What did the British government do? Or what did it not do? Action and inaction. Inflation, shortages, rationing, putting down the revolts and the revolutions with plenty of blood, and forcing many people to go into exile in Canada and the United States. Those that did not heed those options were arrested and placed in jails, in ships, bounded for what is Australia and New Zealand, which were the new penal colonies. We're now with Australia. When the ships arrived in Australia, both the government and the governed, using their white privilege, took away land from the Aborigines, took away land and dignity and family and language from the Aborigines, First Nation and Indigenous people, and made them slaves in their own lands. They even forced them to do assimilation, and even assimilated, they were excluded. And what amounted to genocide also occurred. Genocide in the case that they obliterated, not only by peaceful means, but they also obliterated by force. This is a practice that had continued until this day. Lidia Thorpe underlined the big problem, the big cancer that is facing Australia and that it has to rectify. Just like in Canada, Pope Francis apologized in the name of the Catholic Church to the First Nation for all of the horrors and genocide and discrimination, peaceful as well as violent, committed against the First Nation. Not just physical, but psychological damage. The same that happened in Canada and also happened in Australia. And the Canadian government has also done the same thing, although there's more work to be done. Even New Zealand has to do work. Now let's go to the United States. Let's be frank. This is not our land. This is native land. We took the land from the natives, all of us. And we have to give it back. We have to restitute. We have been partakers by action and inaction of the genocide against the indigenous people. We have helped the two big political parties, Republicans and Democrats, commit this act of genocide, commit acts of discrimination, commit acts of physical and psychological damage against the indigenous nation. And this has to be rectified, especially when we reduced the indigenous population to reservations, where there is drinking, drugging, and prostitution. Because it's our turn to give the indigenous people what they need and what they deserve. And we should celebrate their days and celebrate with them. This is Alvarez-Galloso of the AG News Show. and let us work together to help the Indigenous people.